I invite you to now become centered as we enter into our time of meditation. As we meditate with Thich Nhat Hanh, the practice of mindfulness. I invite you to take a deep breath and to gently close your eyes or maybe soften your gaze on an object on the floor in front of you. Just allow yourself to be in this present moment. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I notice my in-breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I notice that my out-breath has become slower. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I feel it is a wonderful moment. And as we prepare to enter into our moment of silence, I invite you to allow yourself to feel and to dwell in this present moment, and to feel and to know that it is indeed a wonderful moment as we enter into our moment of silence. And I invite you to now begin to bring your awareness back to this present time. Back to this present time where, again, breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. In breathing out, I feel it is indeed a wonderful moment. And so it is. And I invite you to continue to affirm this beautiful, wonderful present moment as Pete takes us started. I want to let you know that one of our congregants sent me some information yesterday. It was a request by Reverend Williamson and a video that Reverend Williamson had sent out that the world is going to go into a prayer together today. And that falls at 11 o'clock a.m. our time. Now, I don't know where in the service we're going to be at that time. If we finish a little early and Pete plays music until that time, whatever we do. But I want to let you know that we are going to, I invite everyone to pause with me at 11 o'clock a.m. And I'll let you know when we're going to do that. But pause with me at 11 o'clock a.m. and let's join into this act of oneness as the world goes into prayer. And during that time, we will remain silent. We will hold 2 minutes of silence. And I invite you to hold that silence and that space from home in your own way, to pray in your own way, whatever it is you feel called to do. So we'll do that at 11 o'clock. So Mindy and I were talking this morning. I tell you, I told Mindy, I said, we've had 10 years packed into 1 week. I mean, who else feels that way? That we've just had, we've got Pete and Rachel are raising their hands, and Mindy. We've just had like 10 years in 1 week. But it was kind of funny, but looking through our feasting and fasting booklet this past week, I noticed that our first fast is from apathy. Now, it talks about being bored and being stuck in a rut. Now, I used to think about that a lot when I worked at my corporate job. The morning arrives, alarm goes off, you hit the alarm, you get up, half asleep, you stumble over there, let the dogs out, start your coffee, shower, head to work. And it's just the whole rinse and repeat thing. I think whoever put that on the bottle of shampoo really had something going on there, rinse and repeat. But I used to tell Mindy that sometimes I felt like I was just living the same day over and over. Well, the universe apparently has a cure for that, and it's called coronavirus or COVID-19. Talking about pulling us out of what we probably far too often perceive as just this mundane. Kind of like that show Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Has anybody seen that movie? His alarm goes off every morning to the same exact song, and he soon finds that it's the same day repeating itself over and over again. The only catch is that he remembers each and every day, yet the people he spends the day with does not. So any relationships he cultivates throughout the day, any progress he makes, boom, it's over with, and it all starts over the next day. But I think it's safe to say that many of it, probably a good chunk of the whole planet, has been pulled out of our ruts, whether we like it or not. The universe has decided we've all spent enough time wrapped up safely in our little cocoons, and now it's time to make and or experience change, and to do it quickly. It wasn't something that was leading up. It just seemed like, bam, here it was, and we've been thrust into this forced change. So what to do? What to do with this forced change? How do we move forward from this point without maybe even going into this state of complete panic? Well, the first thing I believe that we're being called upon to do is to trust. And this trusting isn't something that's new to any of us. And I wish the camera was on Pete's face. He's sitting there shaking his head. Yes, we're being called upon to trust, Pete. But think about it for a moment. Every single time you get behind the wheel of your car, you're trusting that the manufacturer knew exactly what they were doing. Whether you realize it or not at the time, you're trusting that the engineers and the manufacturers knew how to put your car together, knew how to put it together to where it works, and it works well, and it gets you safely from point A to point B. But part of the trust we have to have is also in ourselves. It's in knowing that you have exactly every single thing you need to trudge forward and to be able to stand strong and proud while doing it. So in his book, Our Spiritual Resources, author Goldsmith reminds us, you are infinite. All that God is, you are. And he goes on to say, because of the infinite nature of your being, you have 100% integrity, even if at this moment you are not expressing all of it. You have all the loyalty, fidelity, and benevolence which emanate from God. You have all of God's life, which is immortal. All of God's soul, which is purity. You have the very Spirit of God in you, all of it, not just a part of it, for you cannot divide spirit, and you cannot divide soul. And one thing that really hit me in that is that he didn't say that we often only have 50% integrity. He said we have 100%. He also mentioned that we have all of God's soul. We don't have just a little piece of it. We have all of it each and every moment. And when we have all of God's soul, it becomes impossible for us to only run at half integrity. When we run at 100% integrity, things such as fear and panic, anything but trust and release begin to take a back seat. When we're running at 100% integrity or capacity, we can look at those things and say, get out of the front seat, get in the back. I don't need you to be up here and be an extra passenger seat driver. I was going to say back seat driver, but if we told it to get in the back seat, anyway, whatever. That joke didn't go quite as I had planned, but I'm glad I have just about a 3-person audience today. But anyway, here live. But the Bible reminds us of this in Isaiah 41:10. It says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God, and I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand." And this is pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? We can never be separated from God. And in that, there is all of the hope and the trust and the strength that we need now and will ever need throughout our experience, this human experience on this planet. And what happens when we begin to trust? What really begins to happen within when we begin to trust? We also begin to practice a little bit of release, right? Because we're trusting. It's because we start to trust the process enough to know that it's all going to be okay. No matter what it looks like when we look out the window or look at the news or look at social media, we know that when we trust and that we release, it is all going to be okay. And it is. It is all going to be okay. A storm may be brewing, but we know that eventually it will dissipate, and we know that eventually the sun will once again shine through those stormy clouds. It is reminding me that it doesn't matter what is going on around me at any given time. A virus, a storm, an earthquake. There is divine power and divine source behind it all. I may not yet be able to see from point A to point B. In fact, point B may be miles down the road, too far for me to be able to see it this time. It may be completely obscured by the thickest fog, but it's knowing. It's trusting that point A or point B is there and that the sun will be shining brightly and that everything is exactly as it should be when I get there. So I center and I breathe. And I trust that no matter what my physical eyes and ears see and hear right now, that God is still within. God is still in the midst of it all. And that God is still, no matter what things look like, at the helm driving the ship. This also reminds me of a question that I have asked myself during different times throughout my life, especially during those times of my life that I don't really feel like I'm enjoying all that much. Times such as being alive during a pandemic. That question is, what is it that is mine to do? What is the universe calling me to do right now? It's highly likely that 5 of us could be asked that question, and 5 of us would all give different answers. It's different for each and every one of us. Someone might be called to take some kind of action at different moments, whether it's through this virus or even beyond that, during our time here on this earth. Even now, maybe someone is being called to help sew masks for our healthcare workers. Maybe someone is being called to help stock food in our grocery stores. Maybe someone is being called to just be still and to help hold what I call the high watch. Holding us in consciousness during this time of prayer and healing. It's in realizing that where we currently stand, wherever that is and whatever we were being called to do, is on holy ground. In Exodus 3:5 of the Bible, it states, "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore once reminded us metaphysically that holy ground means substance in its spiritual wholeness. I personally metaphysically interpret it to mean just as I am, right where I stand. Because just where I am is that holy ground. Showing up as I am and doing what it is that is mine to do. I could also perhaps even ask who or what might be my greatest teacher in this moment. I'm sure if you're like me right now, you're probably experiencing a vast array of different feelings and moods. Those things that are apt to change at any given moment, sometimes just second to second, oftentimes without any warning. I was reading through another booklet we have here at Unity, and it's called our Return to Wholeness booklet. And in it, Unity minister Reverend John Bierman is talking about feelings of depression and those feelings he went through as he's experienced depression at different times in his life. But I feel that what he states can be applicable to anything, including any fear or any varying moods that we might find ourselves in right now. He states, "I began to view my low moods as a teacher. I would ask my low energy level or disinterest and discouragement, 'What can you teach me at this time?' Then I began to listen. I started to see how the darkness contrasts with the light. How by remaining still, a low mood would pass and the light would come out again." So I invite you to remember this today. Our feelings are going to come. Our moods are going to change perhaps second to second. We may feel sadness. We may feel despair. We may feel fear. And that's okay. Allow yourself to feel. But also know that the light is going to come out again. It's already out. It's a bit obscured right now, but it's still there. Look around you when you feel upset. Look at the acts of kindness that are happening worldwide right now. Look at the people that are spending more time with loved ones. Look at our healthcare workers who are putting their health on the line to help each and every one of us. Look at the pizza delivery man or woman who's putting him or herself at risk to make sure that we're able to eat. There are people out there who care. There are people out there who are not going to allow you to fall or to allow you to feel alone. There are people all around you. We're all in this together right now. There is compassion. One of the things that perhaps stick with me the most is that something I saw on social media, and as we know, Italy has been on full lockdown. Yet the people there, and I read even in Dallas, Texas this morning, that the people there are still standing on their balconies and they're singing. They're singing to each other and they're joining each other in song. Their melodies are blending perfectly together, allowing the beautiful light and life to shine through. I invite you to look around you right now. The light is still there. And now, as I prepare to end my talk part this morning, I wanted to read something. Now, this was given to me by a woman named Billy Schultz. And Billy Schultz was a congregant at my previous church in West Lynn, Oregon, at the Unity Center West Lynn. And she shared this wonderful thing that she wrote with me and several people last week, and she's given me permission to read it. So I'm now going to read Real or Not Real. Nothing is real. I've heard that before. I've written that before. I felt it before. I have been it before. Nothing is real. Nothing is real except this very moment. And now, as you reflect on that last word, it is gone now too. All the hype thrown in our faces, all day, every day, makes me want to do nothing but pray or sleep. Sleep away this moment of disruption from society, always trying to shove its ugly, wayward ways down our throats. I hear. Even though I try to close my eyes, I see. But not always through the beauty of a camera lens. I feel. And sometimes I can feel sorry that I do. This brutal world we sometimes live, created, built, sustained by greed, this is not what we need. Silence. 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 So foreign to our ears. Love. 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 So foreign to our hearts. Touch. We need it so much. Yet we are afraid. Afraid of that which we need so much. Afraid to receive that vulnerable touch. Afraid to open our heart to love. Deceived by the desires of others whose voices are louder, stronger, pounding their desire into the vulnerability of those they deceive. We work. We struggle, trying so hard to be what someone else has told us we should be. And then, if we are lucky, we fall far enough from the beaten path that we see the real reality we were meant to be. We are here to be free. Free from the confines of an often ungrateful society. We are here to tend to our own hearts and fill ourselves with love. First, love is real love. Then you are able to give love. Give love that does not come in a box or a car or a jar. Real love that cannot be wrapped or adorned with a ribbon or a bow. I let my mind go, I let my pen flow, and I have no idea where this will go. All I know is when I follow my heart, my intuition, good things come to me. When I think I must, I have to do this. If I don't, I never will. I never will what? That is where my mind gets stuck. Stuck in a rut. Like muddy trails of quicksand, stealing your soul, your insight, creating blight, obscuring the light we were meant to be. The light we were meant to be. Why do we close the curtains on the life we were meant to live? Creating a safe culture that smothers us like a vulture. Today, I want to come home to me. I want to be all I am here to be. Today, I will take a chance. I will create a new romance. I will dance with the sun. I will kiss the moon. I will allow the flowers to make me swoon and take in every piece of beauty that God lays before me. I will listen to my heart and follow every yes it gives to me. I will pleasure in the simple things and be grateful for every smile I receive. I will be kind. I will be courteous. And hopefully, I will be patient. Patient with myself and with others. and hopefully not be impatient with those I cannot control, including other drivers and pedestrians, and try to send a quiet blessing to those who may seem to annoy me. I step back again and I remember love. Love of self, love of others, and open my heart to receive. Love has no limit, no dollar sign, and no time stamp. Love is. And in a perfect world, love is all that there is. So even if for just one moment today, I live in a world of love, I will know that it was meant to be that way. And that is where I will try to stay. In this moment, in the next moment, and in every moment that I can have my way. Now won't you come and play? We will both have more love that way. Again, that was Billy Schultz, and she wrote this on March 10th, 2020. Thank you, Billy. We love you, and thank you for allowing me to share that this morning. And just remember, times may be a little frightening right now, but just remember we are all in this together. Perhaps we are being called to something far greater than we ever imagined we would be called for or called to do. I personally believe that we all chose this time to be on this earth. We all chose to be in this human experience this time on earth through this change. And I don't know how it's going to end. I don't know when it's going to end, but I do know that we are all going to be okay. And I know that because I know that we all, each and every one of us, each and every one of you has the strength and you have what you need to make it through this. No one is alone. This church, community, family, friends, we're all with each other. Look at the different ways we've been able to stay in touch despite being in our homes and not being able to be together. We've already been called to grow, and we have all stepped up to the plate, and we have all said yes. And I know that each and every one of us has said yes, or we wouldn't be here right now. We are being called to something far greater than we have ever been called to do before. Remember that you have said yes. And remember that God, the divine, whatever it is you call it, is driving the helm. And in that, we will prosper. I love each and every one of you. You are always in my thoughts as we go through this time. I encourage anybody out there to reach out to us if there is anything you need. Anytime you want to talk, please do that. Namaste, my friends. I love you, and now we will continue with the rest of our